Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with Miguda. And also, I can see Gibson Connor is already on the comment section. Let me start with you, Miguda. How are you? And Gibson Connor, too. How are you doing together with Brenda Obeidi?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Only to also hear from you. How are you doing?
I'm,
How about
I'm,
Gipsy and Brenda?
I'm managing. I cannot complain, but I'm managing for today. Um, Labda wewe sasa.
I can't complain as well. Just trying to be around and also trying to get coped with the life the way it is, as we have optimistic that one day freedom will come.
Talking about freedom, freedom is such a wide. It has like so many meanings. It's not only freedom that you can get that freedom to rule your country or to be independent, but there's so many freedom that people usually say that I need my own freedom. People do say that. So freedom is wide, and I want to bring you to Tanzania. There's something that we saw in Tanzania, and I want you also to give us comparison, especially on how the police are dealing with our Kenyan police and how the Tanzanians are dealing with the people. Yesterday, Tundu Lissu, he had a court case that is going on about the treason. Actually, he was charged because he said no reforms, no election, and the authority felt that that was a threat, especially to the government. So he's facing that treason charges. But yesterday there was a court hearing, and there are people, the Chadema, the people who are Africa, people who are supporting Tundu Lissu or the Chadema, they were there. But like outside the court, Miguda, they were really, really beaten up, and you could see on how the police were interacting with them, and like it is unnormal to them. As compared to our police, even though sometimes we say that our police are bad, but like what I saw in Tanzania yesterday, that was not good at all. I think like there's something that Tanzania they need to rekebisha. What is your take, especially on what happened to the followers or the diehard of Tundu Lissu and the supporters of Chadema party?
What happens to Tindu Elisu and supporters of Chadema? It is something that is uncalled for. It's a violation of rights of the people, and also it is a threat to the humanity at large, because a human being ought not to be whipped or not to be beaten by police officers, because the era of police force is gone, and currently what we have is police service, whereby they have a duty to ensure they promote, they have a duty to ensure they defend, they protect the right. But if the officer who is given that mandate to protect, promote, and defend your right
Yeah.
is the one who we call in contrary,
Mm-hmm.
trying to violate or deny you those rights. Their political rights have been denied by the police officers, and you want to compare with our country the way you have asked me.
Mm-hmm.
Kenyan system is quite different, because when the people were being
Mm-hmm.
whipped by the police officers,
Mm-hmm.
they end up going home without reporting to any nearest court. But in our case, whenever a police officer assaulted me or whipped me, I have that right to initiate or to institute a court proceedings against him or her. And
Mm-hmm.
that one, you will see the police officer appearing before a magistrate or before a judge in the Kenyan system. And that is guaranteed under the Bill of Rights in the chapter 4 of the Constitution. Having said that, I just
Yeah.
want to confirm to you that in terms of freedom, it depends the way you have said. There are people, like you can say in our case, we are free, politically freedom,
Yeah.
but in the Tanzanian context, there's no political freedom. But as we have the political freedom we are enjoying as a country, but we still yearn for the economical freedom,
Yeah.
we still yearn for the social freedom, or maybe some are still yearning for cultural freedom. But what we are yearning as a country is the economical freedom. So when I talk about freedom,
Yeah.
I am very precise about economical freedom as a country.
Okay. When you go back, you dig back to the history and you look at Tanzania during the times of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. Tanzania during those days was like a beacon of hope, especially to those African leaders who were looking for independence, or who were fighting for the independence. When even you look at the relationship between Tanzania and South Africa, if you don't know, the Tanzania and South Africa are very close, and this is because during the fight of apartheid, Tanzania played a major role, not only in Tanzania, even in Kenya, when people like Miguna, people like uh, uh, Chief of the former Chief Justice, Willy Mutunga, even there are so many people, even Haile Manzurui too. I think like the Tanzania was like a safe havens for every African, who was looking for that freedom. That is the place they would go to. But now, when you look at Tanzania of today and you relate it to the history, it gives you very conflicting history, and I think it waters down that hope or that history. That Tanzania has always hold on the hearts of so many African countries who actually got their independence, or people who really achieved their desired, passing through Tanzania in the hands of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere.
I agree with you because the intention of the late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere was to have a Tanzania whereby people coexist peacefully,
Mhm.
people coexist with their both political and economical rights being enjoyed by each and every person.
Mhm.
And the people admire Tanzania by that time. And that's why today the East
Mhm.
African Legislative Assembly, the YALA,
Yeah.
was established in Tanzania. The
Yeah.
East African Court of Justice was established in Tanzania due to the fact of the political environment or political
Mhm.
sphere of that region. And
Yeah.
even the African People's Court, that is under the Banjul Charter, is
Mhm.
in Arusha, Tanzania. By having all those legislative arms, or maybe the
Place for
adjudicator
justice.
arm,
I mean, a hub for
yeah,
justice, I would say.
have for justice in East Africa and also in Africa. And the
Mhm.
intention of African People's Court was to compensate the
Mhm.
victims whose rights were infringed or violated during the time of Mkoloni.
Yeah.
And so Tanzania, like you have said, it was referred to as the safe havens for the African nation. Were it not for Ethiopia not being colonized, today we could have been having the headquarters of AU in Tanzania.
Mhm.
But with the emergence of the dynamics of politics of the time, people have tried to keep the intent of Mwalimu Nyerere. Jakaya Kikwete tried, Magufuli tried, but with the coming of Madam President,
Yeah.
there have been some historical events that happened in his tenure whereby it is not what people thought it was. It is something that else. Like you have talked about the issue of whipping people, denying them their political rights, and
Mhm.
also the issue of not deporting people, Kenyans who are going there, the issue of international relations,
Yeah.
and also the issue of detaining their political opponent, the
Mhm.
Tinduelisu, and denying them the right to contest for their seats. Those are the
Mhm.
things that are unprecedented in Tanzania since the Mama came to power, and also the issue of not promoting Bill of Rights. So
Yeah.
I believe that, from my view, Tanzania has gone back to the dark ages, and people are struggling to get back to the era of AI, whereby we are no longer in those dark ages. So I think they still have a long way to go. They should invest in their political freedom. They should
Mhm.
invest in their economical freedom, social and cultural. At the same time, they
Mhm.
should also invest in their relationship with other country, and also in terms of, I think, just economical and social rights. That's why they should invest and ensure that they fight so hard so that they can be independent in terms of politics or in terms of freedom.
I remember vividly well, especially when Madam President Suluhu Hassan came into power immediately after, or she was appointed to power immediately after the death of Magufuli. And during the reign of Magufuli too, Chadema really had it. They did not have it easy way. To be precise, I think like Chadema only might had a free space during the time of Jakaya Kikwete. Those are the times, or even the time of Benjamin Mukapa. But during Magufuli too, they had issues. Remember the same Tindulisu that now we are speaking about during the administration, or during the time when Magufuli was alive. He was shot so many bullets, but he survived. He came to Kenya later. He went to Germany where he got his treated. He got treated where when I was not, if I'm not wrong. Then immediately when Magufuli died, Suluhu Hassan, the Madam President, reached out to Tindulis where he was, and he welcoming back home. And people like Freeman Mbowe, who by then was the chairman of Chadema, were invited. People like AC Team, Zalendo, Zito Kabwe, all these people. We saw Madam Suluhu Hassan, the president, unifying the country, and people say that okay, he's coming up with a very good leadership. But now, what again? Now we are seeing it is quite much different. And I remember there was a young guy who we hosted here. Actually, he had a movement called Ground Movement. I don't know, yeah. And I interviewed here that young man. Now, the other time I was reading somewhere, and I saw that the young man disappeared almost like a year ago. They don't know where he is. So, and when you look at the history, the rich history that Tanzania has had, and now what is happening, whereby even like Chadema, there's nothing that Chadema can do even to hold a rally. If they do that, the security apparatus will come and, bar them from holding rallies. So how then do you say that we are a democratic country? So I think, as you said, Tanzania, I think they need to pull up their socks, because at the end of the day, even if you're doing that, hii dunia tutaiwacha. Hakuna mtu mwenye ataishi milele. Uongozi huo utaisha, kuna mtu atakuja, ataingia, itaendelea. So I think like sometimes we need to treat each other as human beings, but the way those police officers treated those wananchi of Tanzania, for those who are supporting Tindilisu, it's not good. Even the police service, the people you're beating, those are your fellow Tanzanian. You are not Tanzania. You are not more Tanzanian than them. That is what I would say. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, and we are here. This is what was Suluhu handed over power or elected. I thought she was to hold the presidency for the short term before the real election. Actually, I think as per the constitution of Tanzania is that when the president dies, the deputy president would take over actually with that administration to end. But right now, they're going to election in October. So what I don't know, because like they have, I don't know whether she will run for 2 terms. I don't know, Miguda. Are you well conversant with the constitution of Tanzania? Because remember she came in as the wanaita awamu ilikuwa ya Magufuli, the Magufuli administration, and he continued with that administration. Actually, Magufuli was in last tail of his tenure, right? He died in the second term, right? When he was serving his second term. So the question is, when Mama Suluhu Hassan will be running, will she be running to start his first administration? Then after 5 years again, she will run, or how does it work? I'm not very sure.
I wanted to ask you, where is God bless Wema? Have you heard where God bless Wema is? I've not heard him of late. Do you know him?
God bless. Oh, the guy who is coming from was it from Harusha or who?
Yeah, from Arusha, God bless Wema. There were Tindulisu and Freeman Boya, then God bless Wema. Three
Yes,
of them
yes.
were very critic of
Of
the
the
administration.
administration. Yeah.
So
Ah,
right now I can only trace Tindulisu and Freeman Boya, but I can't get where God bless Wema went.
and Mbowe actually is not even active in politics, so he's good. He's not very active even in Chadema. I think he has retired from politics because I don't hear of him um, talking. He's not so much popular on the social media or on the TV stations. You know.
What I understand with the question you have asked me is that whenever any person can pass away or can be impeached,
Yeah.
there is a vacancy, then someone can assume the presidency. It can
Mm-hmm.
work either two ways. It depends on the argument. First,
Mm-hmm.
people can argue that whenever you are sworn in as the
Mm-hmm.
president,
Mm-hmm.
in either way, whether you came through election, through appointment,
Mm-hmm.
through vacancy of power, that one
Mm-hmm.
you have served your first term because you have been sworn in to take the responsibility and function of the president. So you are doing your one term. Then whenever election presents itself, you are going to do your second term and last term. In the countries where there are term limits, unlike other countries, you know, there are some countries there are no term limits. That can
Mm-hmm.
happen. And also, the people can argue that elections are being held after 5 years. So we never hold any election during your time. We just came as the deputy president.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have held first election, then we are waiting for 2030. But I believe that it is going to do two term in the respective of the first argument in the democratic space.
So, which means in the history of Tanzania, Mama Suluhu Hassan will be, in case if she does like 10 years together with, I think, 2 years, so she will be doing like 12 years. She will be the longest serving president. Just in case if he does like 10 years, if he start her term in the election that is coming in October, then after then 5 years, she will run again. So that one will give us the longest serving president. So there's something here quite much interesting, Mr. Miguda. Let me just read. Um, um, Here. Somebody has just let me know that Freeman Boy nowadays is supporting Suluhu Hassan. Okay, that's okay. Uh, yeah, that's why it's quiet. Mm. And there's something that also Laban has said here that I want to tell him. Like Laban. Let me go read this. Where is the read? Okay, I'll get it. So Laban has talked about Laban, brother Ben. In Tanzania, you fight for Chama cha Mapinduzi ticket, then you are a president. Okay. But I listened to, I don't know, I listened to this he used to be the ambassador to Cuba, Humphrey Folepole. He was talking about the way the Mama Suluhu Hassan especially was given over the ticket, like they went against the laid procedures in Chama cha Mapinduzi. I'm not very sure because like he has become a very big critic of the government. So that is something that is happening in Tanzania. Actually, if you listen to Pole Pole, there's so many things that is talking about this government, that the Tanzanian government, that they are not happy with. And remember, he was ambassador. Actually, he was stripped the ambassador title by uh, Samia Madam Samia Suluhu Hassan, just because of criticizing the government. So he's not going to be called Ambassador Humphrey Folipole. He's now Humphrey. The ambassador role is stripped out of a title from him. So that is that. Okay, thank you so much. That was a bit of Tanzania, a little bit of Tanzania. You know, they'll be having election in October. So, and I don't think like the Chadema will be filling in a candidate for presidency, even though there are some other small political parties that also have their presidential candidate, but like they do not have influence as Chadema, because Chadema maybe is the second largest political and opposition party in Tanzania. Thank you so much. Miguda, there's something also here that we are coming back to Kenya right now. Yesterday, we did not get a chance to speak about it, but we can weigh our thoughts as we are going to look at the Gachagua presidency, because we were trying to argue this about Gachagua that can he run for presidency. But there are some clauses or some article in the constitution. Some are giving him that leeway and some are blocking him. So we are going to look into those articles and clauses so that we can see. And if it is true, that one can inform us the way now Rigathi Gachagua has decided to go on campaign mode and popularize himself by locking Mount Kenya. So, so that when he goes to the negotiating table, he can have that upper hand amongst the united opposition to be the flag bearer of the united opposition. And because he might have looked at these articles that we will be looking at, and and might have informed him and say that, okay, you're good to go and you can give it a shot to the presidency of Kenya, so you become Rigathi the sixth, or the truth man the sixth. Thank you so much. So Miguda, yesterday, Kimani Wamatangi, who is a Kiambu governor, attended the burial of Kimani Ichung'wah father. But from the look of things, it seems that Kimani Wamatangi and the President William Ruto, or Kimani Wamatangi and Kimani Ichung'wah, they were not in good terms, politically speaking, because of the protocol that was breached. Because, like, if a president visits a county, it is always in the protocol that the president has to be invited by the governor, or the governor should invite other governors who are visiting. But what we saw yesterday, we saw this Governor Mbarire welcomed the president, and Wamatangi was sitting very far apart. And that one communicated something about the sitting arrangement. It says that they are not in good terms with the president from the sitting arrangement alone. Or what do you think? Okay, I can see Judith is saying Wamatangi is a true leader. The burial was his home county. Yes, but if the burial was in his home county, Judith, remember, when a head of state is visiting, even if you are having political differences and you're around, you are the person to invite the head of state. But that one did not happen. We are just looking at it. Okay, Brother Ben, the funeral. The funeral is a private what? The funeral, Brother Ben Laban Misiani saying that the funeral was a private funeral function. No, Laban, I disagree with you, because this is what I feel. Despite the political differences, this is a leadership. The Kiambu governor is somebody who is in charge of the county. The head of state is visiting in a kind of a democratic space, which sometimes we say we do have. We have to tolerate each other. Political differences. One, it was a funeral. Two, the head of state was visiting, so we should not show our political differences in the funeral. And there's, why did Kimani Ichung'wah reveal that Wamushomba is their project in opposition? True, that is also something that we were going to talk about, and we are going to look at what role. What about now Sifuna and Babu and Caleb Amisi? Does it mean that they are working together just to hold in brief? Yet they are government spies on us, or government operatives that are saying that they are in the third wing or the third force. Miguda, you're back, Miguda?
I'm back. I just
Okay,
want
thank
to
you.
respond to that issue of Kiambu funeral, where the president was present and other key leaders in that region. The way our politics do operate, or governance, Kiambu County is a government, and it is a devolved government. But there is that cooperation and coordination between national and the county. Whenever an head of state visits the county, it is always proper for that protocol to be observed, even if they were in the funeral. Coincidentally, the governor was present. Let me give you a certain citation. Remember the time Orengo was the senator for Siaya and
Yes.
Obado was the governor for Migori County. When
Mm.
Orengo went to Migori for a function because of party issues, they said that it is Orengo, it is Obado who should introduce Orengo. Then they will say, how is it possible that a governor introducing a senator in that protocol? It is always protocol that it's the senator who introduced the governor. And there
Yeah.
were chaos whereby even some people were injured until they
Mm.
were called for party disciplinary and also they was sorted out. In my view, it is not a big issue because first I have to accept that it was a funeral. It is up to the funeral host, people like Ishunga, to decide who speak or who not to speak. But I believe that if it was more of a state function whereby the head of state was present, deputy
Mhm.
head of state, the speaker of the National Assembly, the both houses, prime cabinet CS was there, the internal PS was there. It's more of a state function because in the
Mm.
presence of all those leaders and the governor. In
Mm.
my view, it was not going to cause anything to make him speak
Mm.
despite of the political affiliation.
Mm.
Because even the other time when Ruto was visiting Siaya County, Orengo was no DM, he received Ruto. So I believe personally that it can be politically castigated move whereby
Mm.
if you're not an ally, if I have any function of my own, you are not permitted to speak. The people who are only permitted to speak or to have a mic in my function are the people of my ally. So you are either with me or against me. So if you are against me, I'll I'll explore all sources possible to ensure that you are not going to be part of the team.
Okay, Miguda, if at all the 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 president and Wamatangi, or specifically Wamatangi, I think like it could have been of good taste if he feels that, or that he was not going to be welcomed, or he was not going to be part of the presidential delegation, actually, like, to follow that constitutionalism whereby you give the president, the head of state, and he's visiting another head of government. He could have then say that, okay, I'm not going to attend the funeral, you know. So but you've given another citation about Orengo, and you remember Orengo did it. Remember, even when President William Ruto was visiting Siaya for the very first time, when there was no broad-based government, when all the leaders in that area, especially, did not welcome the president, but it's only Orengo who actually decided, or he did not decide, but he said that he's somebody who respects the rule of law. So he had to wait for the president and welcome the president in his government or in his territory. It is not wrong. So I think, like, sometimes our politicians, uh, we sometimes, when we have political differences, we tend to be so petty about them. you know so when you see Wamatangi sitting all far away, first of all, he did not welcome the president. So it gives a picture that, even though we are saying that we cherish democracy, but we don't cherish that democracy. Furthermore, this was a funeral whereby, okay, you can hide those your lean political differences and say that, okay, thank you, Mr. President, for coming, and I welcome you in my county. And you can also, there, that is the place now the president will tell you what he wants to do for you. You can tell, oh, president, I want you to build this road. I want you to build this road and build this road. Send those. But that's how politics is. Now there's this issue that also we noted it down about Wamushomba um Kimani Chungwa, what Kimani Chungwa say, that she's a spy, like, she's gathering the information from Kenya. One Kenya Moja then brings it. Uh, uh, when you look at the history of Wamushomba, even during the Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, she's one person who actually, the late people who exited, what they exited Jubilee towards the tail end. For the longest time, they were still in Jubilee, but they exited. So where does this one put Babu Sifuna and Caleb Amisi, the younger, the people who they are going to bring liberation? And now there's this issue that is coming out, like, okay, you are somebody who is now getting information. We've been sent you to get information from this guy. Will this one make this coalition to last, or this is going to break it?
First, I want to say that me, I don't think that there is any secret in politics. There's no secrecy because,
Mhm,
like the Kenya Moja people, right now they have a WhatsApp group and they do their communication from the WhatsApp group, how they're going
mhm,
to meet, what they're going to discuss, whom they're
mhm,
going to meet, how are they going to collect those monies. So, which secretly is the lady getting? We are what spy? What kind of? And I think people like Babu Win and Sifuna, they're not that stupid that they can expose all their cards to when we are in a room discussing about the future of the politics of the country. I don't think there is any politician stupid who can expose all his cards to the members
mhm,
of the meeting. There are times whereby you need to go behind the curtain, then you discuss maybe with phone or you do some things by yourself. For instance,
mhm,
if you want to get the presidency and you are likely going to rig the elections,
mhm,
you can just talk about how you are going to do elections campaigns. But when you want to meet the chairperson of the IBC, it's up to
mhm.
you and him. You meet two of you, then you make a contract. You must declare me or not. There's no
Yeah.
way Ruto will tell you that I Chebukati will declare me. He
Mhm.
cannot say tell you that. So I don't think there's anything to be spied there. If that is
Yeah.
the argument of Ishongwa, then I'm sorry because I'm even me. I'm able to predict what's happening there because I know they have been having meetings and they have
Mhm.
also been contributing to other people, like more of an empowerment team,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
it ends there. But people like Bob want to be governor, Stefano want to be the senator, Caleb
Mhm.
want to be the MP. No one has declared that they want to be the president or the deputy president. So I
Mm.
don't think there's nothing to be inspired. They just want to believe that maybe she was trying to justify that the reason why Wamuchomba left Gachagua is
Mm.
because maybe one of the two is that she was spying. But I don't think there is anything like a secret city politics whereby if you are in my team,
Mm.
you are a more you take information. All these
Mm.
things are in public domain. Remember, even when Gachagua was being impeached, people had meetings on WhatsApp. They were discussing how to impeach. So it's never a secret. It
Mm.
was very clear that we are going to impeach him, and the person to institute this impeachment was
Mutuse.
the person who instituted impeachment was called who?
Mutuse.
Mutuse. Mutuse. So I just want to say, I don't think
Yeah.
that Wamushomba
Mm.
is acting as spy to the government, to that team.
Yeah.
What if, because which government? The government is broad-based government, and Sifuna is there, SG for ODM. So why can't Sifuna even spy to Raila? Or Babu to spy to Raila? Wamushomba is spying to who? So I think it is not here or there.
Mm. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And like when you go to her social media, she has actually rebuttal and gave her statement saying that some of the Ichungwa's family members are her friends, so she was there as a capacity of okay, bereaving with the friends. That's okay. And before we go now, this is the last one, Migudam. Today, I was listening to a bit of Spice FM, and there's something that I picked from Spice FM, especially that I want us to look at. This is something that was said by Mwalimu Amunga Akanyalabundu. Speaking, this is what I quote. This is what Mwalimu amesema. Some of us left State House the following day on Sunday because we were waiting for our small allowance of 10,000. I received a message on my phone instructing me to be at the State House gate at 3 a.m. Saturday morning. We went to the gate, entered, and were then addressed before being told to line up and wait according to our names in alphabetical order. The Ministry of Education in Kenya and State House at times has become the center of fake news. That is according to Mwalimu. So now it is true that what even like Rigathi Gachagua was saying the other day when he was in Kirinyaga about, is it Muranga or Kirinyaga? When he was saying that the teachers were given 10,000 allowance token for attending the meeting at the State House. And how many, the numbers were how, there were how, there were how many number? Were they 10,000 or what? Or they were 100? What was the numbers of the teachers that attended the State House? Was it
I think
100 or
there were 10,000. 100,000 is a big number to be hosted in State House.
there were
There
10,000?
were 10,000 teachers.
So there were 10,000.
100,000 is like you're at the whole rally. You're addressing
One,
at
two, three,
stadiums.
four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So on that day, when all the teachers that attended, the allowance they got was around 10, 100 million. That is what the teachers left with. What say that we already know Mushamba from the past and the recent movement. We must not dismiss what she has done and do. The rebuttal is a confirmation. Thank you so much. Yeah, she did rebuttal. Yeah, so Judith Karawita 10,000. Yeah, so and that is around 100 million. But we know, does this money, maybe the president is taking it from allowances, especially for entertaining guests that he usually gets from the budget, Miguda?
That question is funny. And you said about entertaining guests, the allowances of
Yeah,
entertaining,
yeah. The
entertaining
president,
guests,
president
100
has
million.
the
100
state.
million.
Let me tell you, the state has a budget that for entertainment.
Yeah, it's true, but 100 million surely in one day. Even
But
this is what I'm entertainment.
look at
Anyway,
in that week, how many people did the president meet? And remember, there are
several
also
people.
several people, and some were going with. So, which means like there are a lot of money within that week. President spent a lot of money from, there was a lot of money
Half a
spent.
billion, almost half a
Mm.
billion.
Of a billion.
But I just want to say first, let me ask you this question before I respond
Mm.
to your question.
Mm.
The teacher, he said that he left State House on Sunday. Where
Yeah.
did that teacher left? Alala wapi?
May- Maybe si kuna manyumba huko Nairobi, ama Nairobi hakuna manyumba, BNB ziko, hoteli zipo.
They left State House on Sunday, so it means they slept in State House or where?
Okay,
They
wait a
went.
minute. Some of us left State House the following day. So okay, so which means they left on Sunday. So which means walikuwa tu hapo kwa hiyo tent tu wanabangaiza, wanangoja pesa zao ziingie.
That's what I was asking you. So I think they slept kwa tent because they were many.
Okay. Lakini ni mzuri.
But
Unajua ukilala, by the way, unalala na unapata 10,000. Jani kulala tu unapata 10,000. Hiyo si ni mzuri bana.
State House iko na security, wanaweza lala, kuna chakula, wanaweza kula supper hadi breakfast. So I think walilala tu hapo nje wakingoja 10,000 the following day. But I just want to say one thing about the issue of State House visit. It's not wrong to go to State House because it is a state house. People can visit anytime. You, anybody, you are permitted to do so. And if the president is willing to meet people, that's a good part of it because it's always good to go there and to meet the president. Not just going there, then you find that maybe is outside the country or is somewhere busy. But if you can go there and meet him, you have a talk with him, you engage him. It's also good because you also get feedback from the people that what's happening on the ground, what about the teachers. So there is no misrepresentation of facts. You get the clear facts from the ground. That's a very good move. But the issue, and also, just I want to tell you, Brother Benson, if you have gone to State House, I think food you will get because I think it is good. People have traveled from far. Some came from Bungoma, some
Yeah.
came from Mombasa. So it's always good to give them food. And also, I think fare, you can also give them fare. I can say so. But if this money was intended to silence them or for corruption, I don't buy that idea. But if it's just a matter of umemtumia fare akuje tena rudi umsikize maoni yake umpatie chakula, to me that one I can just say it is good. But if it was intended to compromise them, that's where we draw the line that even if it's a matter of compromising teachers, why must you give 10,000? But if it's a matter of, we have seen people have had meetings, even we have seen them going to Mombasa, they're being given those fare, to and fro, food, accommodation. To me, that one I have no problem. But if it was intended to corrupt teachers, to understand that they are being lured to say yes to anything that's happening in the payslip, even when because that was a representation of a few. Majority of them were not there.
We're not
So
there.
they can be compromised to not to go against the taxation of
Yeah.
the affordable houses taxation in the payslip, that
Mm-hmm.
one could be done. But it's a matter of just engaging the teachers of the Kenyan, knowing their
Mm-hmm.
feedback, and also understanding their stature, and having new proposals, and also decide to actually allocate some funds in the budget. That to
Mm-hmm.
me is just okay. That one's very much okay.
Okay, I support you on that, but you know where now the majority of Kenya are finding that departure is how the transaction is taking place. That everybody who visits, at least there's a price tag for you visiting. How does that one sit, especially with the public, knowing very well that we have some other areas where we are struggling as a country, talking about things to do with education, we find that there's the problem or with funding. We have things to do with the medical health. We have people who are signing memorandum of understanding on how they should be paid. You know, we have like challenges that we are going through, but like you find like when you go to state house, you have this price tag that comes with it. You know, like the teachers had the price tag of around 10,000. Now the price that maybe their leaders who have, because remember, was it one Missouri? Missouri was heckled. I don't know, Missouri or one of them, the Nat and the one of them, there was that heckling. That is one. Then secondly, you find them after that also they are in they during the time that they're deliberating on their issues, they also take that political stand by saying that two term, you know. And what has necessitated you to change your mind and say that two term? Is it because you given 1,000, 10,000, or because of the conversation that you have had that is making you now to change your mind and to shout two term as a civil servant?
I got your question very well, Brother Benson. I just want
Mm.
to confirm to you that just to be a realistic,
Yeah.
because
Mm.
if you visit State House, even the other time you saw those young men from Kibra at Bunge la
Mm.
Wananchi visit State House,
Yeah.
they were given food, and
Mm.
also they were given 2 Ks each. To me, I think it's just like fair from the estate to State House to
Mm.
your estate. But it
Mm.
should not compromise you that once you have been given. I like there was a team who met route in State House. Then
Mm.
for some day they went to Amunyoro, the same faces. So it's like, but let me tell you, if you
Mm.
meet these people,
Mm.
they will give you cash. Me,
Mm.
I've met some people. Like for example, when you are in the premises of Parliament and
Yeah.
you move across, even the time they were not in Bunge Tower, they were in the KICC. If you
Mm.
move to those offices, those MPs will give you money. And even if you move to people like Kindiki, I
Mm.
remember there was a time we met Milia Diambo Mabona.
Mm. Nabona.
He gave us 2 Ks each. There was a
Mm.
time we met Leto Ngondo Were, gave us 3 Ks each. There was a time also we met Mbadi, John Mbadi, when he was the minority. He gave us
Mm.
nothing. He
Mm.
gave us nothing. And we met him, we met him twice. We were saying he's stingy. He never gave us anything twice. So he gave us
Mm.
nothing. And
Mm.
also the person who has gave us much, which I can say, was
Mm.
Kindiki. But that time
Mm.
he was the speaker of the Senate, deputy speaker. He
Mm.
gave us 10K each people. What I'm trying to say is that we never went there for tokens,
Yeah.
because
Mm.
we that 2K we had, even if 3K we have, even
Mm.
1K, Junet gave us 1,000. There was
Mm.
some Junet Mohammed gave us 1,000, but Mbari gave us nothing. So I'm trying to say,
Mm.
you as a young person or as someone who is in the civil servant, you
Mm.
might visit these offices because you are not denied entrance, and also you might be looking for job opportunities. For instance,
Mm.
if you go to those offices, maybe you want job opportunities, or maybe
Mm.
you want promotion, or maybe you want to state your issues to be
Mm.
taken through bill making process into
Mm.
parliament. You have a duty to go to those offices, like what I told about Badi. We
Mm.
wanted to do something to do with the bill making process,
Mm.
but that time when Duale was the majority leader, so we had no option but to go to through Badi. So
Mm.
whenever you meet them, in my view,
Yeah.
they can sometimes wakupatie ile ya in case yani ile ya niseme chai kidogo ya kwamba because you are here and because I'm the state officer, you have come to my office and you are a Kenyan, take this one. So to me, I just want to take
Okay, okay,
that
okay,
angle that
okay, okay. Me
these
good
teachers,
now. Uh-huh. Okay,
these
you know.
teachers,
Uh-huh.
maybe they
Mhm.
were never bribed. They were just given that.
Okay, I agree with you, Miguda. They were never bribed, and even what you've said. But now, at what point do I differentiate that this is not buying of my loyalty? And I want to give you two scenarios. Have you said very well that you visited this office, which means when you are visiting the office of Junet Mohammed or any other of the leaders that you've mentioned, they were not aware that you are visiting them, right? And they, on your way out, they said, okay, have this. But what if I called you and said that, Miguda, today I want you to come to the office? Then I give you. So at what point should I differentiate that this is not buying of my loyalty and this is just something that appreciation like?
What I want to say is that
Oh,
if be it someone call you,
uh-huh.
maybe, or he calls you, then he gives you that money. What I
Mm,
can say is that
mm,
it depends on your conscience. What you
mhm,
will do after
mm,
taking that money, because
yeah.
like you understand what Gachagua was telling those Mount Kenya people, that do not bury an elephant with the tusks.
Mhm,
Just ensure that you remove the tusk because they are money, then you buy the elephant. So what he was trying to say, if
yeah.
you get opportunity to get that money,
Mhm,
get it fast. Then what you will do after will tell my your question. Because let me, Brother Benson, as you were taught one thing, that whenever someone gives you money,
yeah.
don't take that money back to that person. Take that
Mhm,
money first,
mhm,
then you can start talking from that point. So what I want to say is that if some people are viewed that maybe it is corruption or maybe they have been compromised, to me, I can
mhm,
say it doesn't work out that way. If
mhm,
if to you who has been given money, you decided right now that because I was given 10Ks, now
yeah.
it is total. That's
Mhm,
now you are not doing the right thing. That's why I gave the example of those Bunga Wananchi. They were in State House and
mhm,
they went back to Gashagua's home
mhm,
saying one time, even though
mhm,
they were given 2 cases in the State House. So the fact that someone has bribed you, let me say so, or
mhm,
give you money,
mhm,
doesn't make you now to follow him blind, that because I was given 10 cases by Mr. President, now it is
mhm,
2 term. But
mhm,
initially, you
mhm.
are a one-time person. Initially, you are advocating for the good governance. But because you have been given 10 cases or 1,000, now
Uh-huh.
you say, okay, broad-based government is fine. That one
So,
do
so
happen. But
so like from the look of things now, the intention, maybe we are not saying the intention of the teachers going to State House was a very good intention because the president wanted to have a conversation with them, but immediately it changes to a political, then that one raises the question.
yeah, yeah, you have even shed a light to my response.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this.
Mm.
The teachers, they are under TSC, but remember
Yeah.
they are teachers of the Republic of Kenya, and
True.
Mr. President is the head of state. So when President inquire your presence in State
Mm,
House,
mm,
you just have to go to that State House, because you might be, they want to discuss issues pertaining education of the country, or issues which people have been raising on social media. Now it's your time to go and speak for another person. So that one, going to there is not an issue.
mm,
What comes after that? Because I was there, I
mm,
submitted my grievances to the Mr. President.
mm,
Then he responded, whether there were lies or not, but he responded. So the
yeah.
point is, after we have met with Mr. President,
Mm,
what are you now talking? What is your conversation? Are you still advocating for the issues you have laid with Mr. President, or because you have been given transport, let me call it transport, because you have been given transport, now you have changed conversation and you have given Mr. President that it is now two term. Those are the things you want to say. Area member of parliament has been Nairobi for the last 4 years. It's
yeah.
time for campaigns. It's coming back home, and you have been saying we want to see our Mheshimiwa is missing in action. So he has come back home, giving 1,000. You forgot all problems. You are saying, for instance, Junet Tano Tena, because of what he has done. So I think we should change the thinking capacity that whenever you have a duty to play or a role as a citizen of this country, do
Mm,
it. Do not be like I told you the other day. If me, I can be called today to be to work for the government, I
yeah.
can't decline, because you have a duty. Go there, then whatever you know better,
Mhm.
Do them inside that government, but don't just be someone you're just outside criticizing. But when you are given opportunity, you don't have an alternative. So not that the government is bad, the
Okay.
government is good, but the people. So when you get an opportunity
Uh-huh.
to air your grievances,
Mhm.
kindly do so, but don't shy off. So what comes after? That's where the
Yeah.
problem is.
So let's take like the way you've said that if you get an opportunity to work in the government, just to go. Why is it that when the experts were taken to the government, like people started comparing and say that, okay, you people, you've betrayed us, but they were just going to serve their country?
It depends on how you view it. Me, I view that first they ride on the wave,
Yeah.
but as you are inside there,
Mhm.
what you do speaks volumes.
Mhm.
Your intent speaks volume. Whether you ride on the Gen Z wave,
Yeah.
or you are compromised, or you mean well for your country. That's why now I'll
Okay.
tell you aftermath. What is it that is going to happen after?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. That is something that is debatable, but like so many people have raised concern. I feel some Kenyans have raised concern, especially the amount of money that the president is using, especially to give token or whenever he invites Kenyans to have a conversation with them in the State House. But at the same time, you have to know that State House has always been allocated a budget that president can use for entertainment. So we don't know whether those are the money that president is using to entertain the guests that he invites. Playing with the pigs in pigs tea in the name of working for government is hypocrisy. Haya, ndio hiyo sasa, ndio hiyo sasa umesikia. Makubura, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I don't
Yes,
know whether I'm clear
you are my brother. So umekuwa aje ama siku
now.
yako
Okay,
imekuwa
thank
vipi?
you. Niko salama, nashukuru, sioni
Mm.
mabaya, ni
Mm.
kupambana hapa na pale kama Waafrika. Naona leo umetuwakilisha, iwapo hata kama uko nyumbani unatambua ya kwamba wewe ni Muafrika na umetoka Afrikani na Afrika ndo kila kitu. That is a nice thing. Allow me to also say hi to Miguda at let me say hi to Miguda. Allow me to say hi to Apopsi Mo at the comment section, Judith Caritha
Yeah.
at the comment
Mm.
section,
Mm.
uh, Gibbs Icon at the comment section, Laban
Mm.
Misiani and his two Tamas at the comment section. Allow me to also say hi to Brenda Obedi at the comment
Uh,
section. And just
uh,
to remind them that this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that their opinion counts.
okay, asante sana. I think we will drop
Thank you.
Miguda. Uh, thank you so much. One thing we like about Laban has never shied away from his two term. Mchana peupe, usiku, lazima kuambie, na ni mzuri kwa sababu ana pingamizi, lakini shida ni je, Laban, siku moja Raila akisema kwamba leo hii tunatoka kwa Ruto ama tunatoka broad based government, utabaki na two term ama utaendelea nayo? Sasa hizo ni labda ni swali ambao utatujibu wewe kama the two term ambassador at Brother Benson Media. Okay, sawa sawa. Makubura, we've had conversation of so many things, so many issues. We've talked about the issue of the teachers that were given around 10,000 at State House, and they were around 100, so which means like around 100 million the president used that day. Actually, the 10,000 was confirmed with one of the teachers who was having a conversation in one of the FM stations today in the morning. Yeah, we've also spoke about the burial of Kimani Ichung'wah's father, where Wamatangi, being he was the head of the Kiambu government, did not welcome the president, and we are seeing that one sent a signal, especially in the politics. Maybe the Kiambu government and the national government are not in good terms politically. That also, we also spoke about the Wamushomba, especially what Kimani Ichung'wah said. So we were asking, what is now the relationship between Babu and Sifuna and the young Turks who are bringing third force? what does that one mean to them? But now, what we want to discuss, and we want to discuss about the Rigathi Gachagua, because Rigathi Gachagua during the weekend had a very successful rally, and the majority of his rallies that he did that weekend, he declared to run for the presidency, especially for the 2027. Me and you know very well that Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. But now we have to go and look at the constitution, and what does the constitution say about Rigathi Gachagua? Can he really run, or he's just warming him up or keeping his political opponents busy for something to talk about? Because, like you are a witness, Rigathi Gachagua for the last weekend, he has been saying that Wakenya, amaomba Wakenya wamuunge mkono, na is the only person who can take Ruto home. And that is what he said. But what does the constitution say? So maybe as we still wait for Miguda to come in, because like I want to engage Miguda on the clauses and articles of the constitution and what does it say, and what does that one mean to Rigathi Gachagua? Because like we've always talked about here and say that Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, which is true, but does he have gray areas in the constitution that he can exploit, then become the president? So that is what we want to discuss. Maybe you can mention, maybe if you have something to share with us, then we will be glad.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe I first give my take on what was happening at the burial. I think the member of parliament of Kikuyu, Kimani Shungwa, he lost his father, and just like what we've always seen, whenever a politician dies, whenever their relative died, whenever their close relative or friend die, what we've always seen is a high heated politics. Of course, depending on the side where the politician is coming from, we've always seen close allies coming, and they've always, instead of mourning the person who has died, they will always speak about the leader, forgetting about the deceased. And that is one thing that I've always asked myself, if whether we are doing what is right as per the beliefs and the cultures of Africans. I
Mm-hmm.
think we are supposed to respect the dead. We are supposed to ensure that if they are gone, we,
Mm-hmm.
in a humble way and in a
Mm-hmm.
peaceful way, in a respectful way, we celebrate their life in a dignified way. But it's so unfortunate that today, the kind of politics that is being played during actually burials have today been changed into political rallies. And I think the political class has learned that they can get a huge or a high multitude, I mean, a multitude of people in such kind of gatherings. To me, I'm really against that. I believe that whenever someone has passed, they need to be given a decent a barrier that is concentrated on the demise of that particular person, but not one that is changed into a political uh, campaign or a political arena. To me, that is not something good, and it's one of those things that we really need to look into as a people. We need to call the people out and tell them that they are, they're not respecting the values of Africans.
Okay.
Something
Oh,
else that I did say, I mean, I can say is that I saw a political differences that was shown between some leaders, and of course
yeah.
that I saw quite a number of comments here about Kimani Show. I mean, the governor of Kiambu.
Yeah.
Remember, the governor of Kiambu, he has not been really in support of the government. Uh, and that I think started when quite a number of cases were being brought forth, and it was being raided by EACC each and every time, and that might have made him to take a different stand, or to
Yeah.
not really fully associate himself with the ruling government. But of course, he's from UDA party. Uh, that burial again, it showed that wananchi are themselves the political class are are all together. They're
Mhm.
united in a way, because we've always seen whenever one of the political leaders die, or their close relative, we've always seen a close reunion between the political class,
Mhm.
contrary to what we see when Kenyan citizens, who of course are of value to the community, have always died. So it's something
Mm.
that we should learn as a people, that we need to uh, understand that the political class are one thing, and we
Mm.
should not, let us embrace love amongst ourselves as the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. Let
Yeah.
us not get divided by the comments of the political class, because what we are seeing is a unity among themselves, and a unity of purpose, a unity that is helping them in their own class. You know, they've set
Mhm.
a class, and that class, it is them and them and them. So it's upon the citizens of the Republic of Kenya to understand that they have a life to live, they have a
Yeah.
country to live, they have a country to ensure that they have an environment to ensure that they also love themselves, they also unite, so that whenever they are faced with challenges, they
Mhm.
join hands and work together. That is one
Okay.
thing that I did note in that particular um, barrier. You've talked about Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is a politician. Of course, he was a former deputy president before he was impeached as a deputy president not so long ago. And quite a number of issues were brought forth,
Mhm.
issues to do with tribalism, issues to do with mismanagement, issues to do with uh, insubordination, and such and so forth and so forth. What I can say is that all those accusations that were brought forth before Gashagwa, all those things are common in our political environment. They are things that we do see among our political leaders. And if really all those things warrant or are the right reasons where should be impeached, then I can say that quite a number of leaders that we currently have should then be recalled
Mhm.
or get impeached. But
Mm.
while that had happened, all these impeachment are political process, and they're politically motivated. So I can say that Rigathi, as much as he might have gotten quite a lot of sympathy from the people of Kenya, I
Yeah.
wouldn't advise him to go for presidential bid. The reason why I'm
Why?
saying so
Why
because
would you not advise him to, or why do you
the
think he
reason
should not
why
run?
I'm saying so is because there are quite a number of things that he's been labeled, being
Mm.
tribal and all those things, of which, truth be told, we are not saying that there are other perfect politicians or Ruto is perfect in that
Mm.
department, or
Yeah.
anybody else
Mhm.
among the politicians that we see are perfect in that area.
Mm.
But the narrative that is in the minds of the people of Kenya, and if
Mm.
Rigathi Gachagua in his own interest really wants to participate in solving the
Mhm.
problems of this republic, then he should support somebody to come and bring the changes that he think he can
Mhm.
bring. The reason why I'm saying he's not the right candidate is because, one, he just left. He was just impeached the other day. He has
Yeah.
not cleared himself of the issues that he was accused
Yeah.
of which he himself has no authority, but the courts has the authority to do so.
Mhm.
Something else is the comments that is always brought forth are
Mhm.
comments which are not uniting,
Mhm.
so to say. They are comments which are directly in favor of a certain region, and
Right.
at this particular time, with the views and all the dreams of the young people,
Mhm.
they need a leader who is going to who is going to dissociate himself with matters which are widening the differences between the political class and the citizens. We currently need a leader who is
Mhm.
going to solve the problems that the youths have always raised, issues to do with corruption. Rigathi Gachagua, not so long ago, has been not once but several times accused of such matters.
Mhm.
And for that reason, he is not fit. And not just
No,
him, even quite a number of politicians who are coming out.
Makobura,
Yes.
you know what we want to look here. all those that you've mentioned, okay, it's okay. Those are things that should be decided on the ballot. But we are looking at the constitutionalism, the rights of Rigathi Gachagua before the constitution. You know, we as the voters,
Well,
we can decide as voters that, okay, the reason why, like I would advise, okay, I don't want Rigathi to vie because of the nature of its politics, is the way you are saying that it is not uniting. It's okay. But now, when now it comes to the constitution, what
well,
does the constitution say?
to me, up to where I am, and with the little consultation that I've had with the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Gachagua is a Kenyan. He has the right to vie for whichever position that is willing or he
Yeah.
wants. Again, as per what I understand, of which I'm hearing people are having different opinions, I know that he has the constitution does not bar him from vying for any I mean, if he's interested in that
Yeah.
particular seat of
Yeah.
presidency from where I sit. That is my understanding of the constitution. But well, I've had quite a number of people also saying that the constitution do not allow him.
Okay.
I think that's a discussion that we need to get deep into, because I've also followed quite a number of lawyers trying to explain the same. Some are saying the constitution does not buy him in any way. Like the other day I was listening to Advocate Kanjama, and he was actually clarifying the same issue, that the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya currently do not bar him. But again, if you hear the comments of other lawyers, they're saying he is barred from from running for that particular position. So I don't know which is which, but from my understanding as a Kenyan, I mean, not just as a Kenyan, following what I've read in the Constitution, I think the matters that he was accused of, until they are all, I mean, they get to the bottom of all the matters and give evidence that on this and this and this he was found guilty, then so far I think he's allowed to decide and to do what he wants.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm seeing my brother Barak. Before I let him to say hi, we want to look at the Article 32 Clause 1 of the Kenya Constitution. We look at 33.2, 34.2, and also we will look at the Article 99.3 and Article 75.3. And we want to know what are these articles actually are saying, especially that concerns Rigathi Gachagua, despite the fact that, okay, people have opinion on the nature of his politics and the kind of politics that he's doing. We can have our opinion and say that we don't feel that you do not fit to run for presidency. But now when we bring it before constitution, or before we look at constitutionally, you will find that, okay, the provisions that are there in the constitution, does it allow him to go to the ballot? Then the people can reject him at the ballot, yes or no? Baraka, barigani?
Niko salama bwana brother Mbae, and wewe uko vipi?
Mi niko kwema. Umepotelea wapi kaka?
Nimekuwa tu huku na kule.
Unatafuta?
Nimekuwa huku na kule, mambo imekuwa ikichemka kidogo, lakini nashukuru niko salama. Naomba nisalimie pia ndugu zangu Mark na Miguda.
Nadhani hao wamepokea, na pia tuko na watu pale comment section pia.
Natumai wako salama wote.
Okay. Na Popsi pia natuambia we must not follow constitution, we must not follow interpretation of the constitution, but keep the constitution as it is. Okay. Thank you so much. Sasa ndugu yangu Barak, tumezungumzia mambo mengi sana, na najua tuko na mengi ambayo yametokea, lakini tumegusia yale ambayo tulikuwa tunaona labda inafaa tuzungumzie. Tumezungumzia jana mapolisi wale wa Tanzania venye walipiga wananchi pale walipoenda kushuhudia ile kesi ya Tundu Lissu. Ilikuwa inafanyika pale, wakapigwa. Tena tukakuja tukazungumzia mambo ya Wamatangi ambaye walikuwa kwa mazishi ya babake Kimani Ichung'wah, lakini hakupatiwa nafasi kuongea, vile vile hakukaribisha rais, na unajua kwamba ndio mkubwa wa kaunti wa Kiambu. Lakini ukiangalia kisheria ama kwa ile heshima ambayo tuko nayo katika serikali kuu na serikali za ugatuzi, ni vyema rais wa serikali ya ugatuzi, pale rais anakuja, unafaa mualike. Nakumbuka wakati ambapo hatukukuwa na broad based government, Orengo alialika rais, ingawaje chama chake kwa wakati huo hawakukuwa na uhusiano bora na rais, lakini yeye alifanya kile jambo ambayo labda sheria inamtaka yeye mwenyewe mtu kama Orengo afanye kama rais wa ugatuzi ama jimbo lilo. Na pia tukazungumzia mambo ya Githoni wa Mushomba ambayo ilisemwa na Kimani Ichung'wah, tukauliza, je, hii inaweka Babu Owino ama the Third Alliance wapi, kama kwa kweli yale ambayo alisema ni kweli? Alafu mada ya mwisho ambayo sasa tulikuwa tunaanza hapa kuzungumzia ni mada ya kuangalia kama kweli sheria inamkubali Rigathi Gachagua aitetee ama akuwe kama mgombea wa rais ifikapo mwaka 27, kwa sababu kwa wikendi ambayo imepita tunaweza sema kwamba alikuwa na siku mzuri, kwa sababu alipata kuhutubia wale wafuasi wake, na katika jambo ambalo ilikuwa kuu katika kuhutubia kwake ilikuwa kwamba mimi lazima ni kuwe mgombea wa rais, na mimi ndo niko na mamlaka ama mimi ndo niko na uwezo wa kupeleka rais wa saizi ama rais wa sasa, Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto. Hapo ndio sisi wenyewe tumefikia. Labda kama uko na jambo 2-3 labda unaweza kuongezea, alafu tutaingia kwa mada ya kuangalia kama sheria inamkubali, na kama sheria inamkubali ndio maana kuna hiyo ujasiri kusema kwamba mimi niko tayari kugombea urais, na kama sheria imkubali ama sasa itakuwa tu ni vitisho tu kwa wale watu ambao wanataka wanashindana nao. Asante sana Barak.
Well, asante. Unanisikia
vizuri sana baba kakangu?
Well, asante sana kwa hayo masuala ambayo mnajadilia, masuala mazuri kwa sababu yanaathiri hali ya kisiasa ama hali ya uongozi katika nchi ya Kenya na nchi yetu jirani. Nitaguzia tu kidogo mambo ya Tanzania. Tanzania wako kwa dunia yao, ile mambo ambayo inafanyika huko hata is unimaginable that inafanyika hapa. So unajua hii uchaguzi ambao uko huko mwezi ujao, tayari ni iko wazi ya kwamba Rais Mama Samia Suluhu anaenda kupata tamu yake, muhula wake wa pili, lakini wanataka, unajua CCM wanataka kufagia viti vyote, hawataki upinzani uwe na sauti hata kidogo. Kwa hivyo tunaweza tukasema ya kwamba kule Tanzania hakuna kitu ambayo inaitwa utawala wa vyama mingi vya kisiasa kama hapa Kenya ambao tunasema tuko na multi-party democracy. Tanzania ni CCM, na kama wewe si wa CCM utapigwa, utafanywa kila jambo ili uweze hata ukupata tu ubunge peke yake ukose kupata. Na Mama Samia alijifunza hili kutoka kwa aliyekuwa rais marehemu John Pombe Magufuli, kwa sababu wakati wa Jakaya Kikwete afadhali chama cha Chadema kilikuwa kinapata viti hafifu, hata kama nilikuwa 10-20, ilikuwa at least inaoleta ile picha ya kuwa na upinzani Tanzania. Lakini tangu aliyekuwa rais John Pombe Magufuli achukue hatamu za uongozi kule, alihakikisha kwamba anakimaliza kile chama cha upinzani kabisa. Na uchaguzi wa mwaka wa 2020 ndio ilikuwa ni hafla ya mazishi ya Chadema, kwa sababu sijui walipata tu kiti moja peke yake cha ubunge katika bunge la zaidi ya wawakilishi karibu 300. Na hiyo hata huyo mmoja alichaguliwa alikuwa mama, na alikuwa bado ni anaegemea upande wa CCM. So ni kana kwamba Chadema akikuwa na mwakilishi wote kule. Kwa hivyo Mama Samia anataka tu kuendeleza anataka kuendeleza hiyo kutoka kwa mtangulizi wake John Pombe Magufuli. Kwa hivyo hayo hata sioni kama ni la kustaajabisha, kwa sababu Watanzania umezoea hii maneno na watu wako tu sawa. Ndio maana ukiona mikutano yake inajaa kweli, na wanataka sana Zid arudi kwa mhula wake wa pili, na licha ya kwamba unyanyasaji wa haki za kibinadamu unaendelea na hata dhuluma dhidi ya demokrasia kule Tanzania inaendelea, lakini wanaraia wako tu sawa na wako tayari kumkaribisha uongozi wake wa mhula wa pili. Na kurudi nyumbani ilikuwa ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana kuona kwamba kwa mazishi ya baba yake mbunge wa Kikuyu Kimani Ichung'wah, ule mwenyeji wa rais ambaye alikuwa ni gavana wa Kiambu Kimani Wamatangi alinyimwa nafasi ya kuongea. Na si kisheria, lakini itifaki inataka ya kwamba kama ni gavana ambayo rais anakuja kwa kaunti fulani na hilo gatuzi gavana wake anafaa awe anakaribisha, kwa sababu yeye ndio mwenyeji wa rais. Lakini tumeona kwamba siasa yetu ya Kenya saa zingine itifaki inawekwa kando kwa sababu ya siasa. Unakumbuka Madaraka Day ile ilikuwa ya aliyekuwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, mwisho rais mstaafu. Itifaki inataka kwamba naibu wake amkaribishe, na ukumbuke hiyo siku hata Ruto hakupewa na hata microphone. Vile ule mtumbuizaji ule alikuwa MC alimaliza akihand over hivi, Uhuru akasimama mbio akaanza kuhutubia watu. So saa zingine unapata kwamba itifaki inavunjwa kwa sababu ya mambo ya kisiasa, lakini itifaki inafaa kufuatwa, ili hata kama mko na tofauti ya kisiasa, hata kama mko na tofauti ya maoni, itifaki inafaa kufuatwa, kwa sababu huyo ndio gavana wa sasa ambayo ako katika ofisi na analipwa na wananchi kwa sababu ya hiyo kazi ambayo anafanya. Kwa hivyo kama rais anatembea mahali, hata kama kuna tofauti ya kisiasa kati ya chama ama iwe ni kati ya viongozi ambao ni wamechaguliwa katika gatuzi hilo, ni vyema waruhusu kila mtu afanye kazi yake kulingana na itifaki, ili pia iweze kuleta ile. Unajua rais anasema kila mahali kwamba nia yake ni kuunganisha taifa ikuwe kitu kimoja, makabila, majamii zote zikuwe kitu kimoja, lakini saa zingine anatenda kinyume ya yale ambayo anajaribu kusema, kwa sababu huwezi enda kwa kaunti moja na unasema ya kwamba unataka nia yako ni kuunganisha watu, na wakati huo unahujumu kiongozi ambaye amechaguliwa katika gatuzi hilo. So ni kama anahubiri maji na huku anakunywa divai kisiri. Kwa hivyo haikuwa jambo mzuri, na kwanza nilikuwa ni katika hafla ya mazishi. Unajua hafla ya mazishi sio mahali ambayo watu wanafaa kuwa wanaonyesha tofauti zao wazi. Nilikuwa ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana. Kwa hivyo ni jambo la kusikia, lakini Kenya kwa sababu ya siasa inafanya mambo, watu wanafanya mambo ambayo ni ya kuhuzunisha sana, lakini ni kwa sababu ni viongozi wamechaguliwa. Nasema okay, wacha tuwapatie nafasi wamalize muhula wao, lakini tukienda kwa debe, either tutawabadilisha ama wataendelea kupata muhula wa pili. Na mambo ya Gachagua pia nimeona mmeongelea, na ukiangalia mambo ya Gachagua tunajaribu kuangalia historia inasemaje. Unaangalia kwamba unajua impeachment. Kuna viongozi wawili ambao wamekuwa impeached katika nchi hii, na mmoja wao ni Mike Sonko, alikuwa impeached kama governor. Na pia huyu wa Kiambu alikuwa anaitwa baba yao Ferdinand Waititu. Na unakumbuka ya kwamba ile uchaguzi uliopita mwaka wa 2022 Sonko alikuwa ametangaza nia ya kuwania ugavana kule Mombasa. Na kesi ilienda mpaka katika koti ya upeo kule Supreme Court. Na walitoa uamuzi ya kwamba kama umeondolewa kwa ofisi katika njia ya kuwa impeached, hauwezi tena ukawania kiti ya umma. Na unakumbuka hata vile Ruto pia alichagua tena, so hiyo ilifanya Sonko akawacha kuwania hiyo mambo yake ikaisha hivyo. Alipoenda kule tumbo joto, alikuwa amefanya watu wa ODM walikuwa na tumbo joto kule Mombasa, kwa sababu alikuwa na ufuasi mkubwa sana kule Mombasa. Na akatangaza kwamba pia yeye mama yake alizikwa kule Mombasa. Unakumbuka kwa wakati huo uchaguzi
akaenda kwa kaburi fulani akasema hapa ndio mama alizikwa hapa. Siasa bwana, hiyo siasa sasa.
Yeah. So unakumbuka pia vile Ruto alipata kiti, alipatia Waititu kiti fulani. So ilikuwa aongoze board fulani kama mwenyekiti. Watu walienda kotini na ikasemekana kwa sababu aliondolewa kwa ofisi kwa njia ya impeachment, hawezi akashikilia kiti ya umma tena. Kwa hivyo haya ni mambo ambayo yamekuwa na tunaona from the history. So ile kitu ambayo inapatia Mheshimiwa Gachagua na matumaini ni kwamba bado kesi yake iko kotini, ambayo alikuwa anapinga ile njia ambayo aliondolewa na ofisi. So matumaini yake yako kwenye mikono ya mahakama. So ni mahakama inaweza tu tangaza kwamba aliondolewa kwa ofisi kwa njia ambayo si halali, kwa hivyo anastahili kufanya nini? Na mahakama ikisema hivyo, Mheshimiwa Gachagua atakuwa na haki ya kikatiba kuwania. Lakini mahakama ikisema kwamba bunge ilifuata kanuni zake na ikafuata njia halali kumwondoa ofisini, basi safari yake ya kisiasa ya kutaka kushikilia kiti ya umma itafika hapo. Lakini pia yeye anajua hivyo, anajua hayo ndio mambo ambayo yako katika katiba. Lakini ile kitu ambayo anafanya saa hizi, anajaribu kujenga nguvu zake yani he's building his capacity politically. Sababu anajua kwamba pale katika muungano wa upinzani hamna mtu ambayo anaweza kuwa mobilizer kama yeye, mtu ambaye anaweza sisimua watu, mtu ambaye anaweza jaribu kuchangamsha Kenya kisiasa, kwa sababu hata ile alikuwa kule ng'ambo, uliona Kenya ilitulia sana mpaka watu wakasahau kwamba kuna mwana msisimko wa kisiasa. Lakini amerudi, unaona ameanza kulikuwa na mikutano ambayo inavutia watu wengi sana, na katika hizo mkutano unasikia kuna wanachangamsha sana nchi kwa mambo ya kisiasa. Na mpaka saa hizi watu wanaanza kuongea, alisema nataka kuwa rais. Sasa hata mawakili wanakuja wanaanza kusema sijui anaweza simama, mwingine anasema hawezi simama, mwingine anasema anaweza simama. So hiyo inakuonyesha kwamba he is now a force to reckon with within the Kenyan politics, and that is what he really wants. He wants to make himself a force to reckon with, so that even if he's denied an opportunity to vie because of the being impeached, he will have a political party that will have so many members of parliament that will give him a bargaining power, even with the president who will be elected in 2022. And he can even be someone who will ensure that either Ruto gets the second term, or even his government his government after 2027 election will have an easy time in parliament or not, because if you control over 80 members of parliament, at least the president must look for you and have a talk with you so that he can have an easy time in parliament.
Okay, asante sana Barak, umetupatia mchuzi naweza sema kisiasa, jambo ambalo labda sisi wenyewe wakati ambao tulikuwa tunazungumza tukuangalia sana tuliangalia tu mambo ya kisiasa na tukuangalia historia ya tuseme kwamba hata broad based government, kwa sababu jambo la kwanza ambao broad based walisema kwamba wanataka kuunganisha nchi, lakini unapata kuwa kama wanaunganisha nchi, wanaunganisha tu nchi kwa wale ambao siasa zao zinaendana, ama wale ambao wamekuwa marafiki, na wale ambao wanakani hawapatani na nyinyi kisiasa, unapata kwamba hapo mnapata hata kuongea, hata kusalimiana ama hawawezi. Hiyo inakwambia kwamba siasa zetu zimejawa na unafiki. Unajua unafiki si za ukweli, unaona, kwa sababu kama tunaunganisha nchi, inamaanisha kama yule hata adui yake ambao wewe mpendi, itabidi mpate njia badala ya kuzungumza ili tuunganishe. Hata kama tunatofautiana kisiasa, tutazungumza. Ya pili pia unapata kwamba tulikuwa katika mazishi, na tukiwa katika mazishi ni kweli, unajua wakati ambapo unaweza kuja kusema kwamba huyu jamaa hata kweli ni adui yangu, lakini wakati ambapo nilikuwa napitia magumu, nilimuona kuja kunifariji, ni jambo muhimu sana. Lakini unapata kwamba siasa inafanya vitu kama hizo, hatuwezi kuwa nayo. So inamaanisha sisi ni funzo kubwa sisi kwetu kama wale ambao wanapiga kura, tusiwe hivyo. Hata tukiwa tuko na hao wanasiasa ambao sisi tunawashabikia, tukipatikana na shida ama mtu amekuja kukufariji, usikose kumsalimia, hata usikose kumpatia chakula tu kwa sababu labda tunamuna tofautiana kisiasa. Hapana. Asante sana ndugu Barak. Mimi kwa saizi ndawachia ndugu yangu Mako Bura aendeleshe kipindi, kwa sababu naona kama muda wangu imeyoyoma. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia Yaga Asili TV. Asante sana kuungana na sisi, na tutajadili, najua mko hapa mtajadili vizuri. Miguda atatupatia ufafanuzi sana sana tukikuja pale article 75, article 93. What does it say constitutionally? Constitutionally, what does the law requires? Does the constitution bar him? Barak, also, thank you so much. Makobura, thank you so much. Miguda, also, thank you so much. To everyone who is watching, this is Brother Benson. You can also find time to support us and by subscribing to the channel. May God bless you all. See you tomorrow at this particular time, this time of the day. Thank you so much, Ayaga and everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Ben, for leading us through. And now that you've left, allow me to take this opportunity to proceed. Miguda, hata mimi nimekuja late kidogo, so sikujua mliongelelea nini pale mbele, lakini acha kwanza nichukue hii nafasi niulize ndugu yangu Barak. Kuna there's a looming strike that is coming. And I remember the lecturers union did say that they will I think it's today if I'm not wrong. Yeah, leo usiku watasitisha rasmi shughuli zao. And that brings me to this question, Mr. Barak. What do you think about the unions and the consistent CBAs or CBOs that they've always had with the government? And, most of the time the government has not honored the agreements. Why do you think there has been that, I don't know whether to say lack of truthfulness in matters of those kind of agreements? And, this is something that is really affecting the people of Kenya, affecting, of course, the people in those departments, whether it's students. First remember the kind of how difficult it is today to take your children to the university or the colleges or whichever, and then you've struggled and taken them to school, and then over there are issues. The teachers cannot come to class because they feel that they've not been understood by the employer. And Barak, you being an academia, what is your take on this kind of pull-up that we've always seen among, not just within the universities, we've seen it within the lower, let me say the primary schools, high schools. We've seen it with the doctors, we've seen it with the teachers, we've seen it with the nurses, with the doctors. What is not happening, and what do you think is the best way of solving all these kind of differences that the government has always had with the professionals? Mr. Barak?
Thank you, Mark. I think the answer is very simple. When the government does not prioritize what matters to the nation, this is what normally happens. The government does not prioritize education. The government does not prioritize health. And these are the things that are touching the common mwananchi directly. Because if you go to public schools, that's where you find the children of the peasants, the children of Mama Mboga and Watu wa Boda Boda, the children of most of the common Kenyans. They don't take their children abroad. They don't take their children to private school. They take their children to government schools. And the government has not prioritized education in public school. And that is the biggest problem. That is why you see that an MCA is earning a lot of money, more than even a professor. And that is why you see MCAs who you saw them struggling to speak in the Senate, trying to speak things that are not even add up. You can't even understand what they're saying. Those are people are earning a lot of money than even the professors that we have in this country. What kind of a society can you have if you don't prioritize people who are shaping the nation? Education is the backbone of any society. If you do not invest in education, if you do not pay people who are instilling knowledge in the children of any society, you are preparing that society for failure. And that's why you see all these problems. Teachers, they shape the society by teaching children from the kindergarten all the way to the university. Teaching profession has been a ridicule. And that's why you see school dropouts bragging that they have money more than even the professors, because of the government's failure to invest in education to ensure that professionals, people who are working in academia, people who are the top brains of this country. Yeah, when we had a problem of COVID, did you see people running to those school dropouts who are billionaires for any help so that they can get a vaccine? Yeah, people were focusing on researchers and professionals in the health sector. Yeah, to look for a way to generate a vaccine. When we have a outbreak, we do not run for those to those school dropouts so that they can help us with new knowledge to generate new medicine or whatever. So once, as long as you do not prioritize what matters to the nation, you will always have problems, because it is obvious that the government that we be having in this country have not seen education as a key aspect of building the nation. Even when we are talking about industrialization, even when you are talking about, I don't know how to build economy, you must invest in education, because that's where it all begins. Yeah, and that's why you've seen teachers always going on strike. Right now, you also is calling for a strike because the CBA that they signed, the government commitment that they signed last year, they've not honored it up to now. And the leadership that we have at the Ministry of Education is the genesis of these problems, because I think the CS there does not really understand dispute resolution mechanism. He does not understand his role, because you also gave a notice, and the notice expires today. That means the strike will begin officially after midnight. That means from tomorrow there will be no learning in government in public universities. That means that the semester just started the other day. Students are others are even 2 weeks into the semester, others are 3 weeks in the semester. It means those students who travel all the way from different parts of the country to their respective university, they will not be learning. But now, on the other hand, it's a good thing, because they are going to call this government to order. Because the university students in this country, if they can unite, they will call this government to order. They will wake those people from their slump, because I think that is what they are really yearning for. Yeah. So the leadership that does not prioritize what matters to the nation will always invite professionals to the streets so that they can remind them of their responsibility. So we need to restructure how people are paid in this government, so that all the focus will not be on politicians, but on professionals who are shaping the development of the people of this country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Miguda, what is your take on the looming strike that is expected from the university lecturers? And you understand how strong the university students have always been on matters of bringing sanity in matters or in governance. Do you think this might then hunger the students and maybe lead to them coming out to call out the government to respect or to honor the agreement that he had with the lecturers? Miguda. And how is it then going to affect the students who just reported? Quite a number of them, of course, are just reporting this month. Miguda?
I just want to say that learners are going to suffer, because some people already have paid school fees, and also some people have already left home to concentrate in their work. But now there are no lecturers into the lecture halls. So to me, some people want to graduate. You don't understand. Some people want to finish their semester. It's gonna complicate things for the students, particularly. and the comrades can as well unite and join their lecturers to give the teachers the government pressure to honor whatever they have decided before. I think my concern is just about the learners Makubura.
Meguda? Okay. Oh, I think Meguda has dropped. And Mr. Barak, something else that I wanted you to give your take on is the issue of LSK President Faith Odhiambo, Wakili Faith Odhiambo. She's saying that she will continue na ni kama ashtuki na hata abanduki pia kwa vile alipewa nafasi na rais kusimamia wale what we call compensation to the victims who lost their lives during the demonstration which happened that was carried out by the youths. What is your take on her stand? Because she is one of those people who has always been loved by the people of Kenya, on how she handled the whole situation on matters of representation, of matters of standing with the victims, on matters of coming out to call out the government for the bad things that they did. What would you say about her current stand? And she's saying that she's even ready. Whoever wants to remove her from power should do so. And maybe before you come, allow me to acknowledge and say a big thank you to our good friend Gypsy Corner for having gifted our channel membership, and that is a good thing. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner, for the consistency in supporting us. We don't take it for granted. We are really grateful. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Eric Ayaga, the comment section, Nasile 2 TV, and others who are watching us. Thank you so much, and karibuni. Mr. Barak?
Well, the issue of Faith Odhiambo is that she wants to participate in the panel that is going to compensate the victims. I think he has a democratic right or constitutional right to serve as a professional, because she was very vocal during the demonstration and during the violation of human rights. And she was been very consistent in calling out the excesses of the police brutality, and so on and so forth. So serving on the panel, if you listen to why she accepted the invitation, is so that she can help the families who are affected by either losing their kins, or their kins were wounded to the extent that now they are disabled. So she has a she has a good reason, a valid reason to support, to work into that. And I remember, you know, sometimes you opposing without objective is what I think most of the people on social media are doing, because you know, if you are claiming that the government has wronged the society uh, by employing or deploying excessive force, to an extent that some people have lost their livelihood, their lives, or even some people have become disabled. And now the same government wants to come up with a mechanism to ensure that they compensate, even though life cannot be compensated. But normally, people within the society, once the state has the capacity to right some wrongs. You remember, even those who are fighting for Mau Mau, they went they went to court in London, and they asked for compensation. and they were given some millions of sterling pounds, and they come back here celebrating. Remember, Paul Muito was the one who was a lead lawyer in that case. And they did not, the British government did not resurrect people who died during the Mau Mau uprising, but they were compensating those families because of the trauma, because of the challenges they faced during that time. So it's a good practice that people will the government will try to right the wrongs that they did in the past. The only challenge that I have with that is that if they are compensating the families, let the government not continue doing the same thing to other, because it will now be a cycle of people being killed by the government, and now the government compensating the families, and now it will not have any meaning at all. So if the government is committed to compensating the families, it should also be committed to stopping police brutality and using excessive force during any picketing or demonstration, because that is where the border of contention is. So I support Faith Odhiambo or any other individual who is serving that panel, because they are there to serve the interest of the victims, not the interest of the state. And Law Society of Kenya is a very important actor in that panel. So Faith being the president, I think it was wise for her to serve in that panel, because if she opts out and now the government goes on and now this the panel goes on and finalizes the work, and now they still also start complaining that our views were not factoring because we are not representing. So the issue of representation is very important in such a panel, because the Law Society of Kenya being drawing membership from all the lawyers and the judges and magistrates in Kenya, it's a very important body to be part of that panel. Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. So nice to see you there. I was wondering, where are you today? And thank you so much for gifting Brother Bedson Media. And tutaongea hiyo mambo ingine baadaye. Yes, back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you. I'll also get yeah, that was something that I saw yesterday. So tuko hapa tutaongelelea tu bado tuone vile hiyo mambo itaenda. Hiyo yenye imeguzwa hapo kidogo you were mentioned in your absentia as the chief supporter of the biggest team in I don't know whether to say in the world or not. Yeah, so thank you so much, Barak. And Miguda, I don't know if you can hear me. Miguda? Miguda, can you hear me? Okay, I think can't, I don't know what's wrong with him, with his internet. Yeah, Mr. Barak, there's something else that is coming up. You remember some few days ago, the governor of Kakamega was having, I don't know whether to say problems or issues with the former governor. And he went ahead and said that the president need to tame Rigathi, I mean, the former governor, Oparanya. And that he also called on the party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, to also assist in taming him. And then after that, today, of course, we saw the courts. The court said that Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is currently now in the radar again, and there's a possibility that he might also be arrested. Remember, before he was appointed as a cabinet secretary, he had some cases. Of course, part of it was corruption, among others, and he was relieved by the ODPP, where they said that the EACC did not give them enough evidence that would warrant the arrest and prosecution of the former governor. And so today it is said again that the courts are saying that whatever the ODPP did was not right, and so it seems that the former governor currently serving as a cabinet secretary might be, there's a possibility of him being arrested. And the question I'm asking you is, what is your take on the politics that is going on between Governor Baraza and his former boss, who is currently the cabinet secretary in charge of SME, small business, and so forth and so forth? And could that statement that he gave, could it be one that would have ignited the call by the courts? What is your take?
Well, I don't think there is any connection with Governor Baraza's statement with the court's decision. You know, that was just a coincidence. But I think they are having, when Baraza became the party leader of Kakamega County, ODM party leader of Kakamega County, I think he became sure that he was going to defend his seat in ODM, and most probably he will win, because his main challenge right now is Halwale, and Halwale is just a noisemaker there. And also this DCP party leader anaitwa Cleo Malala, pia yeye anajaribu sana kutamani hiyo kiti, and as long as they are going to continue that way, he's going to give Baraza an upper hand. Now the problem with them, with the Oparanya, is that Oparanya, I don't know what is, maybe his interests are not being taken care of, and that's why you see these senior politicians, once you see them making noise, they are not making noise on your behalf. They are making noise on their behalf. There's something that they wanted, maybe from the county government, and the governor maybe did not oblige to grant that request. And that is why you see him now coming out, guns blazing. I don't think it is for the common mwananchi. It is just for their own political interest. So I think that's one. I will just leave it at that. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Miguda, I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can
Could you
hear
kindly
loud and
complete
clear.
your statement and also give us, you can complete what you, give us your comments and what you are giving for.
I concluded. I say I don't want to dive much into the issue of strike, but I've just focused on the issue of student, whereby I said learners are going to be interfered with. The strike is going to affect the learners process, whereby the people who have already registered for their courses, who have already paid for the money, the people who already travel far from other up country, also the people who have already even paid for their rent within the cities and towns are going to they want to graduate. So I think they're going to be affected big. Once I was affected by strike, I know how it is. It is not a good thing. So I think it is high time for the bosses, the government in quote, to ensure that whenever they had any agreement within the staff of the WASU, they should oblige so that it makes the learner's life very easy and safe in the university. That's my take on the issue of strike.
Okay, Miguda, maybe you can also give us your take on what you think about the president of LSK stand on matters of, being in the panel where compensations are being discussed for the fallen heroes, those people who died during the demonstration. What is your take? She's saying that she's not going aendi kubanduka, hata banduka, abanduki, and that she understands, and she's actually saying that she has reasons why she accepted that invite, and whoever wants to remove her, let them go on and do so. What is your take?
Before I talked about that issue of compensation, let me discuss this issue of Gachagua. Then I'll conclude that one. First, we have tried to discuss whether Gachagua can be permitted to run for presidency, or maybe can be disqualified. And to me, either stance, because it can be permitted, it can be declined to run for presidency, depending on how he will exhaust his case. Because as things stand, what I believe that the Bill of Rights are individual rights. They are for each and every person. Gachagua is not an exception. He enjoys the same rights any person can enjoy in the country, and he can make an application into the court for redress or for denial, violation, or infringement or threat to a right, maybe during the time he was being impeached. Either might have happened. By making an application, the court may grant appropriate relief to the applicant, that's Gachagua. And I was looking at Article 23, Section 3, I think D. D is saying that the court may grant appropriate relief, a declaration of invalidity of any law that denies, violates, infringes, or threatens a right or fundamental freedom in the Bill of Rights. To me, that the court can invalidate any provisions by that time or any law. So it's up to the court right now. So the fate of Gachagua will be decided by the court, whether it's going to run or not. It is not going to be decided by Gachagua himself. It is not going to be decided by the supporters, but the court will decide the fate whether it's running or not. For now, we can say we just wait and see how the outcome will be made. I think they have made application to determine the denial of some of the rights to Gachagua. That one is very clear. If you go to Article 23, you'll get it the way it has explicitly explained it. LSK President Fito Diambo, I just want to maintain what I said, I think 4 days ago. I support her move to take that role. I support her. And the reason why I'm supporting her is because what is the essence of sitting outside, complaining about compensation, but there's an opportunity that has presented itself that can bring you inside to discuss that compensation. If you know it all and you understand the victim's fate, get into that committee, discuss, push for the rights of those people, push for compensation, be a tough negotiator. You negotiate for them inside rather than being outside. That one, that's why I support her. But most importantly, when I was reading the preliminaries of the committee, I discovered that people tend to focus on the civilians victims, but it covers everybody, including the officers victims, because there are officers in the commotion. Some of them were stoned, some of them lost their hands. You saw the other one around Parliament building. There was a woman whom they removed the hair from the head. So some officers have suffered as well as civilians. And also there was an officer who was shot on the neck during the Gen Z protest in Parliament. There was an officer who was shot on the neck, and I think he passed away. So when we discuss this compensation, it should be all inclusive, the officers and the civilians. So as one of the representative of the peoples, like the LSK, which has been the voice of the victims, with their leadership being involved into compensation discussion, I don't see a sense of her sitting outside making noise. Let her bring all her input into that committee and follow so that it can ensure that she should follow the latter, that all those recommendations are followed and all victims are compensated, including officers. That's my view. Another thing, just like I've said before, if you have a good brain, a good recommendation, and you are outside, if actually you can get inside and implement whatever you have been advocating for outside, I'll support you. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Because, Mark, let me tell you one thing. When Gachagua was inside, the government was good. But when it's outside, now the government is not good. So which is which? Is it only good when some people are inside and some people are outside? So I think the government, to me, serikali iko sawa. The government is really good. So it's the people who are inside. So if you can get, and everybody, let me tell you, everybody want to be in that government. And that's why even right now the opposition are forming alliances and teams. So that they be where? In government. They're not going to be somewhere else. So when you are inside, so Faith is just like any other Kenyan. There's nothing wrong. It's not a crime for him to be in that committee, to me. Because even those people are there, they are Kenyans. So if you get opportunity as a Kenyan to be in any committee or in government, kindly implement whatever people have advised you to do so, or whatever you want to do. But this issue of that, even if someone has decided to go inside there to correct the mess, she's been told you are a mole, she's been told whatever, I don't want to say those things. But even outside, she was unable. The furthest Faith could have done is just to make a press conference and condemn violation of human rights. But even in that capacity, he got no jurisdiction to initiate. He got no jurisdiction to institute a proceeding, although he can institute at personal level or as LSK of Kenya. But he at court, at the court, it is a whole process, requirement of a judge, a victim, a claimant. It's an entire process that requires many parties, not one single party. And in that case, it's also expensive. But if the government can decide to sit down and also saves court time, saves people's time by agreeing on what to do, I think it is proper thing for Faith to go there. Not that he has betrayed somebody, no. She hasn't betrayed anybody here. The point is, if that is what is there at the provision, you get inside, then go and put all your grievances to that committee. That is my take.
Okay, thank you so much for your take. And another question that I wanted to hear your take on is I don't know whether you had the opportunity to watch the cabinet secretary in charge of security, who was being hosted yesterday in Citizen, and the Kenyan youths, not just Kenyan youth, the people of Kenya had quite a number of questions that they brought forth. And part of the questions that they were asking is, why is it that the police are still being protected? Protected in the sense that some of them, as if you remember what the court issued, the directive that the court issued was that whenever they're in their daily operations, they're supposed to be in uniform and possibly one that is having a name tag. But the same question was brought forth, and the cabinet secretary said that sometimes they are allowed, and it was coming out to be I don't know, niseme aje, alikuwa anaonekana kana kwamba anawatetea, let me say so. And then the people then asked, then why is it that there are directives that have always been brought forth and they are not being followed? He was there, and the cabinet secretary could not really give pure clarification. Remember, the people of Kenya have always had not very good relationship with the police. Of course, remembering what happened during the demonstration and the altercation, the consistent movement between the people and the police. And so, again, the citizens are still wanalalamika hii hali ya matumizi ya nguvu kupitia kiasi ambayo polisi bado wanatumia. na tena wana the consistent differences that has been there between the citizens and the police. And that, of course, will bring me to this question. Miguda, what is your take on the replies that, or the defense that those in the docket of security were giving to the police? And what do you think is the best way of handling this so that going forward, currently, as you understand, there is still no good interaction, good working relationship between the people, not good, there is no good trust between the people and the police. What is your take on how the CS is leading that team?
First, I want to be very clear that Cabinet Secretary for Internal Security does not head the police. I think it's in charge of the state departments. The leader of the police or the
that's okay. But remember, even the head of police, the IG was there. The one, Amin was also there in charge of the DCIs.
okay, I'm just trying to respond to the question that Murkomen can speak to certain limit, but the police officer should take instruction from the IG. That is what is explicitly stated in the Constitution. Inspector General of Police is the command center of the National Police Service, and instruction should come from National Police Service. The issue here is there is conflicting of roles into our police service. You will find out that the CS tend to be more of an inspector general than an inspector. And I think previously it used to happen in the repeal constitution. And if you look at these police officers, most of them, even the IG, the deputy IG, they're not young people. I think they are 45 plus or 50s. They were police officers under the repeal constitution. They were trained under that constitution. So they tend to understand that's how things work. But that's not the case. This should be different. And the police officer should take command from commander who is in that vicinity. And that's why the issue of the chiefs, the assistant chief, DEO, county commissioners, they have tend to rely on the intelligence. They have remained to be NIS agencies on the ground. They have not come to the issues to do with the police service commission like it used to be before. Right now, I've seen they have tried so much to remain NIS agencies. But the police service, we have a problem. There was even a committee that was placed to do the police reforms commission, and it was headed by, I think, Emeritus CJ David Maraga. I fail to understand why these roles cannot be undertaken. Like we have talked about the issue of some instruction whereby putting on uniforms on daily basis. I think those things should be happening at the administration headquarters at the various level. They need to know to come directly from the IG, because that's now is when you show your independency as institution, and there should not be interference. And even that after that, the issue of command. And in general, in security sectors, there is that independence. That's why they should not be even interfered from the military, and military should avoid the internal affairs at all cost. And just to give a certain citation, I was also talking to a certain friend of mine who is actually currently in Congo, in the border of Uganda and Congo. And he told me they can only take instruction from the commander in that vicinity, not even Mr. President, not even anybody. And that was just a junior lieutenant. So I think that's how it should be. You should know that the order of hierarchy should come from where and from which point. But we understand also CS internal security also has some roles. I think in terms of the operation, it was also intelligence reception. It relies to those police officers, and also in terms of security per se. So it tends to be too much dependent to the police sector. That's why he's relying. They now yes are through the role of, even you said there was presence of IG and there was also presence of DCIO. But in the real sense, who ran the show? Murkomen ran the show. The IG doesn't run the show. The DCI doesn't run the show. So you look at the person running the show. That's why even in that State Department, you find that it's Raymond Omolo is running the show. I think until we come to a point where we agree as a people that police is not a force, police is not an enemy between the people and the government. Police are friendly people. They are our brothers, they are our sisters. There are people we coexist in the same society. Why is it that when they are in uniform, now they come to be enemies? No. And they're always very clear, internal affairs. And internally, we do arrest people. There are no much interference other than our borders. Until we come to the relation that this is a police service, that they reform one, and it is an independent commission working under the IG, no interference from the internal CS, because internal CS sits in the cabinet. Internal CS is also in the National Security Council. That's now they can meet with the IG. So until we realize that there is independency and there's that good rapport that between the civilians and officers, because look at the environment. It is the officers who guard us when we are in bank. It is them who guard us in bank. When we are even in other forums, that the people who take care of us. Why is that now? When it comes to political differences, now it looks like the officers have taken side. Now we are protecting bad governance, but we are opposing. No, it should not be that way. It should be a scenario whereby it is a collective responsibility that this is our country, these are our officers, these are our civilians. We work, we guide each other. Issue of traffic, they are with us on the traffic. So this fear, whereby people fear police officers and threats from civilians, should come. That's why I'm still insisting on independency of that leadership structure, whereby DCIO should be concentrating on investigative and the directorate issues. IG should live with the policy wa kawaida. Murkomen should focus on the state departments and even in the internal affairs. But this issue of conflicting roles, that's why. But I don't want to say that they don't know. They know. They understand it even better. But there could be a reason why it is deemed fit for them to do so, to maybe protect certain interest or for the nature of the politics of the country we have today.
Okay, thank you, Miguda. And Mr. Barak, what is your take on the comments of the cabinet secretary in charge of security, the IG, the DCIO on how the police operate, vis-a-vis the comments of the people, where the people are saying that the policing department are still not adhering to what the courts has always said about coming out or going for operations while in uniform. And that, according to the people, they're saying that it is a threat to them, because any police, according to the questions which were being asked, any police who is coming out to report to duty should be in uniform for issues of identification, so that whenever anything happens, at least there is easy way of following up. And not just that, they are saying that there could be a lot of cover up within the policing department. Those are some of the questions that were being asked to to the CS, to the IG, and the DCIO, and they came out to say that sometimes the police has no alternative, and especially when they feel their life is not their life is in danger, then they can come. without the uniforms. What is your take on that conversation which happened yesterday, Barak?
Mark, it is very romantic and very popular to say that police, how the Constitution describe the police service. It should be a service to the people. It should not be using excessive force and so on and so forth. So many good things that the Constitution is saying. And by the way, that is very popular. When you tell the masses, they cheer you up. But now let us look at the reality. If you look at the reality, you'll realize that world over, the police is a tool of the elite that they use to protect their interest and to protect themselves. Even if you look at how the American police is behaving during anything, you will just see that in America they say it's the most developed democracy, the most mature democracy in the world. Yeah, just look at how police are treating citizens, even under at any time. Look at even during George Floyd demonstrations. Look at even right now when they were talking about mass deportation of illegal immigrants. Yeah, and just look at how they treat their suspect. And you will see that you realize that police normally are a tool of the elite to protect their interest. That is why you see Kenyans were complaining about the police during Moi's time. Kibaki came in, he promised reforms, nothing happened. Yeah, and police brutality continues. Uhuru Kenyatta came in, they promised reforms under the new constitution. They changed the name from National Police Force, Kenya Police Force, to National Police Service. Police brutality continued. Ruto came in, the same story. Remember, Gachagua was saying during the campaign that police will be escorting drunkards to their home. Ati utakuwa unapewa lift na hiyo na hiyo Land Cruiser. Ukipatikana umelewa unapelekwa mpaka kwa familia yako. Look at how police handled demonstration. So police is a tool that is being used by the political elites to protect their interest. Look at how police were being unleashed on Azimio protest in 2023. Yeah, and now, right now, that Azimio principle, Raila is part of the government. Look at how he's being given VIP treatment, VVIP treatment by the same police that was unleashing tear gas even in his own vehicles. Now look at Rigathi Gachagua, who was giving orders to the police then, and look at how police are treating him right now, even to his supporters. So police are a tool that is being used by the political elite in any society. Even if you go to these developed countries, even if you come to these developing countries, even if you go to here in our neighbors, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, you'll realize that police are always being used by political elite to protect their interest. Even right now, where you are working, Bwana Mark, if your employer refuses to pay you your salary, yeah, and police is called in, police will come to protect the employer, not you, and you're the one who is aggrieved. Yeah, he will come there and you will be harassed and you will be kicked out of the compound. Then you are told go to the labor and report that case there. That is how the nature of police has been all over these years. Even if you look at the during any dispute between the employer, the employee, during the people who are elites in the society and those who are peasants, the police will come and they will stand on the side of the elites. And now it is even worse because look, I don't know if you've seen any dispute or anywhere between a white person and a black person in this country. And when police comes, they will take whose sides. They will start. They don't even know who is on the wrong. They will already, in their mind, they know that you must be on the wrong because you are black. So you find that this it is a colonial mentality. That because the colonials are the one who are using the police to intimidate, to harass, to beat, or even to oppress the blacks. And that thing continues even up to now. Yeah, it has not really been removed from the system of the police. Even if we change this name from Kenya Police Force to National Police Service, that system is still the same. And another thing, you cannot change the name, and the syllabus is just the same thing. The curriculum that they are using in Kiganjo, you are beating up these police when they go for training. They are being beaten up. I hear they are running all like it's like they are being punished in the name of being trained. And when they come out, they want to pass that now to the common mwananchi, because they feel like now they are superior. Now yani now they are no longer citizen. Wanasemaga wameondolewa uraia ndani yao. Sasa hao sasa ni askari. Yani for you to be a real police officer, lazima usikue na uraia. Yani you don't have to have that empathy to the people. You must be someone who has no empathy. Even if you see someone being strangled, you are just okay. Even if you see someone being hacked to death, you are okay, because now you are a law enforcer. My friend, so many things need to be changed, not just the name. They need to change the curriculum. They need to change the understanding of law enforcement. They need to change how they are perceived, how the training that they undergo, so that they see the citizens as fellow human beings and not as objects who are supposed to be harassed, and oppressed. And if there's any dispute, they're supposed to be beaten, so for them to run away, so that they feel now sasa sisi ndio tuko. Yeah. And I think the theory, the idea that the state has the monopoly or instruments of violence, that is where we get into the problem.
Barak, are you there? Okay, thank you so much, our viewers, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate it. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Allow me to say a big thank you to Eric Osewe, Ento Oket, Calvin Sokeyo, Philip Manasse, Tony Cruz, for also finding time to join us and giving us a like. If you've not subscribed or liked, kindly do so. It's a way of supporting us. And thank you so much, Ipsai Corner, for the consistency in supporting us. We really, really appreciate. But Barak, are you there? Barak? Okay, I think he's having a problem with this internet. Mr. Miguda, we've had athletics going on in Japan, Tokyo, and we've had quite a number of our athletes who have made the country proud. We've seen quite a number of wins. We've seen quite a number of gold, quite a number of bronze. And what is your take on what was the athletics which was going on in Japan, Mr. Miguda? Before we get into the world of football. Miguda? I don't know whether it's my problem or it is their problem, because I'm just suddenly seeing Mr. Barak, can you hear me? Miguda, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Makubura?
Yes, I can. I don't know why you guys have simply dropped.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I
I'm
just want
asking
to say,
you, Did you get my question?
It's about Olympics.
Yes, yes. Kindly give your views, and then Barack will give his views on that before we get into the football.
I think of late, I don't watch. That's you have to bear with me. I have a problem with my eyes. I rely on the audio, so I haven't gotten a privilege to to watch the Olympics. I'm just getting from audio or from people. That's why maybe I think by next week I'll be okay, God willing. For now, my sight is not that useful to me. So Makubura, that's why that issue of even police Murkomen, I never watched, but I just heard them speaking on the audio. But I hope that Kenyans are known for Olympics, even. But I think on Monday morning, that is when I left, when we were number 2 worldwide, and also we had 1 gold medal. I don't know whether it was from Faith Kipyegon, whether it was from Jeb Ngetich or whoever, but I also heard that Omanyala never made it to finals boys race because unpreparedness. Not that the coach was saying that he never prepared for the Olympics. I think we will just get to Barack.
Okay, thank you. Barack, what is your take on the ongoing athletics, which where we had Faith Kipyegon winning today? She actually adds 4th world 1500-meter title to her 3 Olympic goals, where she clocked 3 minutes, 52 minutes, and 15 seconds to lead Dorcas Ewoi for Kenyans 1-2 finish in Tokyo. Barack, what is your take on our athletics and what they're doing in Tokyo?
I think they are doing well, and they are flying the Kenyan flag so high, and we are making us so proud, and we are so happy for them. Wakuje pia nyumbani pia wapate mamilioni zao, waendelee na maisha. Yeah, I think I feel sorry for Manyan. I don't know what is he was suffering an injury the other day, and they say that he was recovering and he was ready for this particular event. Unfortunately, he did not make it to the final. He finished 5th in semifinals, and that was knocked him out completely. But I hope he's preparing for the next competition, because athletics, ukianza kumalizanga we mwisho huko inakuwa balaa. So he need to try to prepare well for the upcoming. I think Faith Kipyegon has done very well. He has been consistent in her winning, in spite of the setback that when she tried to break the record by running below 2 minutes. I think she took it positively. She learned her lessons, and she continued now with the preparation. And that is now the spirit of a sports person. You learn your lesson and you move on na unaendelea kuperform vizuri. So I think she's so doing very well, and she's doing the country so proud. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you. In the field of football, Barack, kwanza ulitajwa ya kwamba watu walikuhurumia sana, watazamaji wetu wengi na inasemekana ya kwamba Man U ni kama inataka kutumaliza. So maybe you can give us a brief of what is happening in the field of field of football before give Miguda a chance to also give his take. Inasemekana ni kama siku hizi tunapigwa kila siku, lakini tukipigwa tuko na maneno ya kusema, tunanyamaza kidogo, tunapigwa. Anyway, Barak, what is your view?
I think it was a good game, and the team that came to the pitch prepared to win won. You know, when you are going to the game, they're always if it's a league, the possible results ni mbili: kushindwa, kudraw ama kushinda. Kama ni final, kama ni knockout ama final, ndio kuna hiyo lazima mtu aende nyumbani na mwingine aendelee. Normally when it comes to the EPL, I can discuss football with the Liverpool fans kwa sababu hao ndio we are on the same level in terms of the glory in football, and hao ndio wametushinda tu kidogo tu na Champions League kwa sababu I believe they have 5 or 6, walipata ya 6, and sisi we have 3, and even comes to league ni 2020 so unless wapate ya 21 ndio tuanze kuangalia mgongo yao kusoma label. But as things stand for now, hata Man U ende relegation na irudi after 5 years, kuna hata kama hizo timu zingine zina win every year, bado watakuwa wamefika, bado watakuwa nyuma. So I think Manchester United, they are not I think in the transfer market they didn't do their homework very well, and that is now being reflected in right now what's going on. They must really build their squad, because what they have done is not enough, and you can see they're really struggling against very small teams like Man City, very small teams like Burnley, and you saw how they struggled against okay, they dominated but they didn't score against that small team from Emirates. So these small teams are giving them problem because they did not sign players who are of the caliber of that club. And I think that is now where the problem is. And if they don't change that in January, they will be relegated, I can assure you. Yeah. So they have to do their homework very well. And if they don't do that, they will have a lot of problems. I don't really think the problem is with the coach, because even when Ferguson joined Manchester United in 1986. And remember, he won his first league in 1991 or 92 there. So it shows you that they were very patient with him. And when he started winning, it was now continuous. And if you look at the number of Premier Leagues that Ferguson won, there were 13. And most of them, he was winning back to back. So sometimes give your manager time, let him understand the philosophy of the club, and give him the right players. And sometimes you don't have to buy these expensive players. You can just build from academy. Just build players from academy. And remember, the team that Ferguson built, the team that included the likes of Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, David Beckham. Yeah, those were players who were built from the academy. And remember, when they started winning, yeah, it went on for so many years. So sometimes it is not advisable to, we know that right now football is about business, big money business. So, and that's why you see teams going to buy players who are very expensive, because they want immediate result. They are not patient by building players from the academy. And remember, when Ferguson, when Arsene Wenger was the manager of Arsenal, he was known for nurturing talent, building players from the academy, and now when they come of age, they play for the Arsenal, and later on they leave. They go for greener pastures. So that is the only way for sustainability. Yeah, but buying this player, wanakuja unapata na one season you can't even remember their names because wanakuja wanapotelea kwa team, they are not performing. And you know, there's something that is very interesting, that these players who are playing very bad at Manchester United, when they leave, they start shining. Then you wonder what is really happening. I think there's a very big problem that sometimes that we don't even understand with this team. Because look at the players who have been moving out of the club. Some of them have been doing very well, even though some of them their time was really up. Sometimes was really up. So they must have what we call a long term, because long-term goal is what is going to save them from the current calamity. They should not be afraid of being relegated, because that is part of the game. Kuna timu imekaa hapo tangu ligi ianze 100 years na iko na 13 Premier League. Manchester imekaa kwa league for 52 years. 52 years iko na 20 Premier Leagues. So it's not how long you stay in the Premier League. Hata Leicester ilikuwa promoted na ikashinda Premier League, ikakuwa relegated, hata ikarudi ikakuwa relegated na imeshinda Premier League in the most recent team kushinda Premier League. Compare na hawa watu ambao wanapiga kelele mingi hapa. So it's not how long you've been there, it's how many trophies you've won, unaona. So unasema we are holding the record of never being relegated. That's fine, but how many Premier Leagues do you have? Unasema tusiangalie nyuma. Okay, tuangalie the most recent team kushinda Premier League ni nani? Sasa ni Liverpool, si ndio? Now before Liverpool kulikuwa na Man City, before Man City kumekuwa na Chelsea, then after Chelsea kuna Leicester, then after Leicester kuna Manchester United. So ndio urudi mpaka ufike 2004 when Arsenal won the Premier League. Si utakuwa umechoka kuhesabu? So let us focus. I think if you look at how the British media is talking about Manchester United, it is very negative. It's like comparing. I was looking at the headline when Liverpool was given a penalty to defeat Burnley. At the same time, when Manchester United was given a penalty to defeat the same Burnley, you look at the two headlines. You'll see that this one ni kama hii headline ya Standard na hii ingine ni kama headline ya you know, I think you've read the headline, Standard headlines, eh? So it is important for the club to focus on building sustainable team, not just being carried away by pressure na nini. The same way the club was patient with Ferguson na ikampatia time ya kubuild team, it is the same way they should do with this Amory. But if they want to show him the door, that's well and good, but you cannot keep building. If you cannot build a team, kama kila saa mnabadilisha, mna change the manager. Look at how Liverpool gave Klopp time to build the team. The glory that is in Liverpool today, it was not built this season or last season. It was a process, yeah. And Klopp was given that time to build that team. Look at Arsenal. Arteta amekaa huko miaka ngapi? Yeah, umesikia ukisema Arteta must go. Na walishinda kikombe mwisho lini? Yeah. So give the manager time to build the team, so that it can start now winning trophies later. I think Arteta has been in Arsenal, hata ule mtu alizaliwa kama Arsenal, Arteta anakuja amesha join shule anaelekea kumaliza primary, but they've not won the Premier League, they've not won the Champions League. Ile tu ameshinda ni FA, which Manchester ilishinda the previous season. So what is so special with being top 4 and you are not winning the Premier League? So it is important to build a team that is sustainable. You need a long-term manager so that they can build a team. You cannot build a team with huyu manager mwingine 3 months. Unakumbuka wale mwingine walipatia Ten Hag kazi 2 matches akafukuzwa. So sometimes you need a manager who can stay with you, understand you, build the club so that the club can perform. But hii team ambayo iko saa hizi, hii team nayo hakuna mali inaenda. Sioni mali inaenda. Hii team itakuwa tu hapo na wakicheza watakuwa relegated. That's a fact. because they are not playing the football that is encouraging, that is inspiring, that even portrays them as a serious team. Naona Gypsy Kona amechangamka kweli kweli na Judith. I know Liverpool wanaogopanga Ferguson sana, I know, because he's the one who really stopped the Liverpool's dominance of English Premier League. So the Liverpool fans hawataki kusikia hiyo jina ya Alex Ferguson. And you know, that is the name that we must always mention, because 13 titles Premier League, EPL ziko kwa mgongo yake. So you cannot take that name away from Old Trafford. Even though tunajua Liverpool hawapendi hiyo jina. Wakati ule Rafael Benitez alikuwa Liverpool, you know, it was very interesting to play Liverpool because of the tension and the passion that players used to display, even the managers. Yeah. So saa hizi hata Manchester wakicheza na Liverpool, there is nothing to be proud of, because sababu tu unaona tu mtu anafungwa 3-0, 5-0. That is not a derby. You know, derby, imagine team ambayo ili hapa iwezi uzia mwingine mchezaji, na wakasema kaa nao, na wengine wakasema kaa nao. So inakuonyesha kwamba this team they have a history. So I understand Gypsy Kona ukikataa kusikia jina ya Fergie, naelewa, because Fergie ndiye alipatia Liverpool dawa yao. Unaona saa hizi mmerudi na mtaka kusumbua, but wacha tujipange, tutapatana tu. Even if Manchester is relegated, Arsenal haitafikisha hizo vikombe. So watu Arsenal watulie, you still have a long way to go. No. Fergie is the icon. I'm telling you, even if you don't like him, that guy, his legacy will live for many generations, because he taught the British how to build a successful football club. And you'll remember that even so many clubs were envying Ferguson, Manchester United, and he made the Manchester United to be the most loved brand in the world, in the whole world. Mpaka saizi hiyo bado iko imesimama. Anyway, so Mark, ni hiyo tu, that's all I can say. Manchester United must be very careful, because ile mambo wanafanya kwa uwanja is not even inspiring hope at all. Na kama wanaweza pigwa na Grimsby, inaitwa Grimsby, timu ambayo inacheza 4th division, na watolewe kwa Carabao, I'm telling you, things are not looking good at all, and they must really up their game if they are to survive even in the league this season. They are not playing European Cup, wameshatolewa kwa Carabao, wamebaki tu na league na FA peke yake. So if they are not going to put their house in order, I'm telling you, next season watakuwa napigania championship kule chini, how to come back to the league. They need total overhaul. I'm telling you, we have players in that team who do not deserve to wear that badge. They need total overhaul of players, not the manager. They must overhaul these players. Ile walifanya juzi ni upuzi mtupu. Total overhaul. And you are not supposed to sell young players who are still in their early 20s. Yeah, you have to nurture them, train them. You remember during Fergie's time, Fergie alinunua Rooney kama Rooney was unbearable. Rooney was very rude and arrogant, but alimstreamline mpaka Rooney akakuwa legend kwa English football. Kama angepata manager ambaye anaweza mstreamline akuwe legend, Rooney hata jina yake kuna mtu angekuwa anaongea kuhusu saizi. Yeah, so sometimes when a player is rude, dawa sio kumuuza. If you are a manager, you must know how to nurture these young players, because sometimes others wamepata pesa mingi wakakuwa wakachanganyikiwa. Yeah? So you need also to have a manager who knows how to nurture young players. Yeah, because if they are not nurtured, sometimes unaona mtu kama Pogba alienda tu hivi na mambo yake kaisha. So we need to have a manager who understands this. So that's all I can say, Bwana Mark. Thank you so much for today's, and thank you so much Gypsy Kona, Judith, Kawira, and the rest who are in the comment section. It was nice reading your comments and contributing to today's session. Asanteni sana. See you tomorrow, same time. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you so much, Barak, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. To Meguda, thank you so much. Brother Benson, thank you so much. To our good supporters at the comment section, Gypsy Corner, Judith Karitha, Laban Misiani, uh, Eric Ayaga, Asili 2TV, Popsi Mo, Brenda Obedi, and everyone who joined and contributed. Eric Osewe, Ento Oket, Calvin Sokeyo, Philip Menace, Tony Cruz, and everyone who joined us this evening. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate and to say a big thank you for you finding time to join us. If you've not subscribed, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Once again, thank you so much, Gypsy Corner, and to everyone who joined us, may God bless you. Have a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.